Hi. One of the major job opportunities that I would like to speak to you about today is property manager's position. Um, Property managers are located everywhere from real estate offices to office complexes, political buildings to your on-site property managers such as apartments and elderly communities. The job descriptions of a property manager go in a whole different types of ranges. The most important job description that you have is your customer service with your renters or your leasers. You have to meet and show property to potential clients. You have to discuss lease terms with residents, collect monthly payments from tenants, delegate responsibilities inside the office, investigate and settle disputes with renters, prepare budgets and reports monthly, and comply with all fair housing laws. That is a big one with complying with fair housing laws because they change drastically every year, so you have to keep up to date with everything that is in them. One major jobs that I want to focus on because there are so many different property managers is the on-site property manager. The on-site property manager is located at your apartment complexes, your elderly communities, your nursing centers, just all different types of on-site property managers are located at different communities all over. The type of employment for an on-site property manager is full-time year-round and sometimes evenings and weekends. It's a lot to take on to be a property manager because you're always on call. Your job is never done. So there's no telling when you might be called, to handle a dispute or to fix a problem that's arose at the property. Experience needed. If you look at your BLS, it'll tell you that you have to have a high school diploma or an equivalent. Mostly it's always needed a bachelor's or master's degree in business administration, accounting, finance, real estate, or public administration is preferred for these positions. Accounting and financing are really important, especially when it comes to your budgets every month, rental agreements, all that has to come into play. The biggest thing for me, though, is customer service, because you can have all of this knowledge, but if you don't know how to deal with your customers on a daily basis and your renters on a daily basis, it's not going to work for you. I've seen a lot of times where things happen and property managers just don't know how to deal with the pressure or the stress of the problem that's arose at the property, and they just stress out. So that's a big number one thing, is just your customer service skills and knowing how to deal with your renters on a daily basis. Property managers or real estate sales license is also needed in almost every state in the United States. You can work on an on-site property, but you cannot manage it, or real estate sales. You can't be a manager for them either without a real estate sales license or property manager's license. You really need 2 to 5 years. It says 1 to 5 on your BLS, but I would prefer 2 to 5 just because in your first year of real estate sales or relocation specialist, you don't really know the ins and outs of dealing with customers on a daily basis. In your first year, it's really just a job. Once you get into your second year, that's when you really start building a family foundation with your renters. Locations. Property managers are located all over the United States and other countries. You can pretty much get a property manager's position anywhere nowadays. It just depends on which company you work for and how far their firm location base is. The earnings potential for a property manager depends on the type of property manager you are. If you'll go back to your BLS and look again on your pay, it ranges depending on if it's local government, Office of Real Estate Agents, business professional. On-site property managers make $51,000 a year. They average $24 an hour. If you go back right here, it's $24.75. That was in 2010. So 2012, it's probably gone up quite a bit. You also have your 401k, your medical benefits. So it's a really good opportunity if you're looking for, potential growth financially. The outlook for growth just for the career, though, and if you look back at UBLS, it's supposed to grow 6% from 2010 to 2020. It's slower than most occupations, but because there's always people looking to move into apartment buildings, senior citizen housing, there's always need for property managers. Not only that, but the more property managers there are, the more the value of the property goes up, because there's someone there to care for it. There's someone there to make sure that the property is maintained properly on a daily basis. So, there's always a job outlook and growth on that. The only thing about the job outlook and growth, as you'll see on here, is there's not really much more that you can go up in property management. Either you're an on-site property manager and you move up to being a real estate sales manager, property manager, or you go to being a political office building manager. There's not really much more that you can do once that you become a property manager. Many people that go into the property management field were once an assistant or a sales associate or a relocation specialist. But then, as you hit the property management field, there's not much higher that you can go from there. So as I said, anyone who loves customer service relationships and the business field, it's an awesome job to pursue. You really grow a family foundation with your renters, especially the ones that have been there for a long time. So it's an awesome opportunity, being in the business field, to be able to enjoy the job that you do, make a substantial amount of money doing it, and be in a location that you love. In a property manager's position, you can pick any location. Like major corporations, for example, BNP Properties, they own several different apartment complexes without the whole United States. So if I was a property manager and I was in Myrtle Beach and I wanted to relocate, I could relocate as a property manager in North Carolina to one of their other sister properties. So it's a way to be able to move around and grow within the same company, within the same field, and increase your pay, and just love the job that you do. So thanks for letting me share on my outlook on a property manager's position.